Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got a great one lined up for you this morning. Listen to some of these headlines. Banks and governments are getting into crypto. We got some more evidence of that happening right now. And then we're also going to talk about the Fed, Chris Giancarlo making a call to action here, and XRP up 620.50% on the year. That's from Uphold. And the 10 billion that we're missing XRP from total circulating supply, we'd say Wen has cleared that up for us. But there's one more thing, madam, as Columbo would say. And we had a spike flash crash down in the 30-cent range. What in the world is going on with XRP? And of course, we're going to talk about XRP price and hear from the experts before we get out of here. Let's roll that beautiful intro. Here we go.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove and find everything that we're talking about here and so much more. If you're not following me on Twitter, please do. There's a lot of news sources and articles that are there that we don't always get to cover in these videos, but we do try to grab the biggest things that are happening for the videos here on the channel. And make sure you hit the like and subscribe. We're at a 2.4 trillion plus market cap for the cryptocurrency space collectively right now. Bitcoin at 55,000 plus. I do want to say that I've heard from some of the technical analysts, these experts really have been spot on. A couple have reminded us that if Bitcoin were to hit 60,000 and stay above, it could rush to 68. And if that happens, we may see the altcoins and yes, XRP take a little longer before they hit the price targets thereafter. We'll keep an eye on it. Ethereum cracked the $4,000 mark over the weekend and is still sitting just slightly above $4,000.22 right now, or $4,000.22.20. Excuse me. It's still up 19.23% on the 7-day. I want to jump right down now to the number 7 spot, which is where XRP is, courtesy of the dereliction of duty by the SEC and intimidation tactics from the SEC. We're at $1.45 this morning. Look at this. We're off 7.42 on the 24-hour. Yeah, that's how bad that is. And we're 2.10% up on the 7-day, but don't fret. We're going to talk about this and find out whether it is still within the range that the technical analysts have talked about, and we're going to cover that this morning. So sitting here at 144, we're looking at a range between 132 and 157. Well, we're going to get into this before we leave out of here today. So let's go ahead and get started with the news. And the news is brought to you by Unstoppable Domains. Make sure you check them out. They are bad to the bone, and that is a great name for that company because they are, in fact, unstoppable. Here we see, you don't say, Swiss multinational investment bank and financial services company UBS Group, AG, is reportedly exploring multiple ways to bring crypto investments to its rich clients. You know, this is how it works, right? Whether we like it or not, from the top down, the richest clients get served first. They get the first dibs, right? And I understand how it happens and why it happens, but there it is. And what you're seeing is a traditional investment bank, just like the Goldman Sachs and the JP Morgans. They're all getting into crypto, and they start by offering it to their wealthiest client list first. It's just the way it goes, right? And this, to me, is just more sign that, you know, when I see the market like this kind of crashing and knowing that the threat of regulation and the unknown of what Gary Gensler will do from the SEC, or unknown at how the SEC Ripple court case will play out, even though it's leaning heavily into Ripple's favor at this point, you know, it's no wonder. I mean, think of it. If you were an investment bank and a traditional bank that's been here for many, 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 many decades, 100 years maybe or more, you would absolutely be like, hey, I'm tired of seeing my client base rush off to some crypto exchange to get what they need. I want to offer it and keep them right here at our bank. And that's where we're headed. This is big. It is not a small event, and neither is this. This is the treasurer, I believe, from Australia, talking about putting $1.2 billion investment in the digital economy strategy to get businesses and other areas of industry updated to a new digital economy. I'm not going to play the clip because that's essentially what he said, and we can keep moving. We got a lot to cover here. So This here is Nebraska lawmakers are moving forward with an initiative that would allow state banks to offer cryptocurrency services. Is this on? Are you hearing this? Come on now. This is a big deal. You know, we know that the OCC, when Brian Brooks was the head there last year, issued letters from the federal level letting federally chartered banks custody digital assets. Now we're seeing on the state level them roll out the same kind of laws to be able to allow the state banks to be able to offer cryptocurrency. So we got the federal level. Now we're getting some clarity on the state level now. This is extremely exciting. We are going to continue to see, I believe, all these different states fall in line, because I'm telling you, these banks are pounding on the government and the lawmakers' doors, and they're saying, what in the world are we waiting for? We want to do this. We're tired of our customers going to these exchanges. And then you're going to see real competition out here when you see the traditional banking sector get heavily involved in crypto offerings and custody. You watch. I can't wait. Those are some of the fireworks I've been waiting for. CBOE kicks Fidelity linked Bitcoin ETF application to SEC. And here we see more and more push from many different entities, whether it be VanEck or CBOE or which is the Chicago Board of Exchange, right? So we're seeing many different companies put in applications for ETFs for crypto, and this is no different here. And again, another huge push to really bring maturity to this market. Now, whether you're a fan of Bitcoin or not, I think an ETF would be a great product on top of the asset, just like we see in the metals market, right? There's plenty of ETFs and futures, which we already have, right, on Bitcoin. But that, to me, is a growing, mature market, and that's what we're seeing out here. And doesn't it make sense that we would be pushing for such a product if we see more traditional legacy banking systems moving into the space? These are the kind of products that investments and institutions are used to working with. All right, now we see here from Chris Giancarlo, the Fed needs to wake up to the need for a digital dollar, says former CFTC head Giancarlo. Chris Giancarlo, the crypto dad, which he has been a huge advocate for crypto and obviously working on the digital dollar project. Look, you know, this is a call to action is what we have here. Now, this is nothing new from Chris Giancarlo. He has been a forward thinker for many decades, and this is no different here. The reality is that we do know what? What do we know about the Fed and the digital dollar? They will be testing across 5 different central banks, and they will be engaging the public this summer. So in another month, let's say, right? So this is really exciting. And let alone, if you followed the videos that I made over the weekend, you know that the digital yuan is in trouble. The local citizens say they're not impressed with the tests and the pilots that they've been taking part in, and they don't see the advantage of the digital yuan comparatively to the currencies and cryptos that they're using on their public platforms. So the plot thickens here, you know, and again, don't forget about the public-private relationship for the digital dollar. You know, it could be very easy for the federal government to say, or, you know, and give the Fed permission to use something like the USD coin, because the Federal Reserve is not a branch of the federal government. And the Federal Reserve could use the USD coin that was created and really put together with the oversight of Brian Brooks and Jeremy Allaire from Circle. And they both considered it one of the most important projects of their career. And these gentlemen have done some important things in their career. So for that to be up there seems like we could lean into the notion that that may possibly end up being a public and private relationship to establish a digital dollar for the Federal Reserve and the U.S. government. So we will keep an eye on that. Now let's change gears just a little bit here, because we're going to go into this revolving door, as in Jay Clayton. This talks about a bumper quarter indicates that the market has confidence because Ripple has seen massive whale accumulation and institutional money coming into the space regardless of the SEC court case. But one of the oddities of all of this is really starting now to be picked up by major journalists. We're talking about a journalist, Eric Lipton, I believe it is, from the New York Times, has caught on to what's going on here. And this is one of the oddities that soon emerged in the resignation of Jay Clayton as the SEC the day after bringing charges against Ripple. The circumstances triggered some to consider whether ulterior motives for bringing the case were at play. A critical component of Ripple's defense is its assumption that XRP is the same for a securities point of view, from a securities point of view, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which the SEC deems non-securities. However, the SEC says Ripple was wrong to make that assumption. And just to clarify, there was no official issuance that Ethereum or Bitcoin were actually deemed non-securities. There was talk at a podium at a conference, but there was no official release of a document. Now, while this information is nothing new, the New York Times piece details the scale of revolving door appointments, which sees many former public officials, not just Clayton, end up landing senior industry posts. The question is, are these former politicians and civil servants doing what they do, or is there something more insidious at play? And that is the question. And I hope they keep digging until we get a solid answer. Now, this is a reminder here that XRP, regardless of the price today, increased by 32,943% in 2017. XRP decreased by 82% in 2018. So far in 2021, it has moved upwards by 625%. And as of this morning, I looked on Uphold, it is up 620.50%. That is an amazing number. So regardless of where we are right now this morning at 144, that's what we're talking about. We're so far this year at 620% gains on the asset. Now that's pretty damn good, regardless of the lawsuit, right? So here is a question that got answered by Weedsay Wen, and thank you to Weedsay Wen, about the 10 billion circulating supply drop in number. So there was a 45, 46 billion. And then it dropped a few days ago to 35. And everyone was like, what in the world is going on, including myself? And then some people had suggested that there was a bad data feed. And some people suggested that we don't know. Maybe this is a part of the settlement and 10 billion had been taken out of circulating supply for some, form of settlement or some other reason we don't know. All of it is speculation, right? But Weedsay Wen was kind enough to come out and say that it appeared to him that it is a bad data feed and it's not correct. And look, I have to say, that's wonderful. It's very good to know. But one thing I can say is that it adds more to the question, I think, when we talk about, what happened to it, because I am satisfied with his answer. But then this morning, I did want to highlight for everybody here that this is what it says on Coinbase since that moment of that bad data feed has happened. And it hasn't changed for CoinMarketCap either. Now, if these two entities, especially Coinbase, obviously, they're not offering XRP right now, but they are one of the largest exchanges in the world. And recently just going public, you would think if they knew that that was a bad data feed, why would we leave it hooked to the bad data feed at 35.1 billion, which it also still says here on the number 5 spot here, right? So we don't know why they're not correcting this, right? Because if we go to live coin watch, it still says 45, 46 billion. If we go to coin paprika, it still says 45, 46 billion, right? So there is the question. And I do understand if it's a bad data feed, I totally get it. But at the same time, I do wonder, what is going on? Because over the weekend, we had this happen. Rob XRP asked, rightfully so, WTF happened here? Anyone know? And apparently on this exchange or platform that he's using here, it spiked down into the 30-some cent range this weekend. Like 32 cents, I believe it was. Very quick. You can see just a spoon and then right back up again, right? What in the world is going on? And does that have anything to do? And here it is from Dark Defender, who has been amazing as a technical analyst on here. And so has Rob. Rob has been great too. And I would follow these people as well if I were you. But here he says, this was the most dreadful scene that I have ever faced live in crypto. Nobody's shared yet. Maybe I'm having another glitch or something. Look exactly where XRP is touched at 32 cents at 321. Amazing. Really, this is why I always say day trading is a huge risk. Great point there. And he says, most say it was a glitch. I don't think so, he says. A huge amount of XRP has definitely changed hands. Look just exactly where it had stopped at 321, 32 cents. Coincidence? Of course, no. Let's ask, is this related to the 10 billion glitch a few days back? And we have to say we don't know, but it does make one question. And I have to go on here and say, before we get out of here, let's take a quick look at what's going on with price, right? We don't know the answer to that. I do appreciate We'd Say When clearing that up for us about the bad data feed. But with that spike down to the 32 cent range there, one does have to wonder what in the world is going on in this market. But nevertheless, take a look at this. We will see that this was from yesterday or the day before, I believe, at this point, because no, it was from yesterday. This was yesterday. Look into the chart again, please. ABC correction reflected in red color. C wave was ending on the $1.33. If you set the flash crash aside, XRP managed to stay above 133. So here is that area that he's talking about here, right here. So we will keep an eye on what's going on here, but this is where we're talking about going. And here you can see the leg 3 would put us at $5 plus, right? So this is pretty interesting. And notice that we have seen a bunch of consolidation or rolling off, but we're still staying within a channel here, right? So, and you can see this trend line right here, which is holding pretty good because we haven't gone down below it, right? So we'll keep an eye on that. You know, we do have support here on this line, so we could roll back all the way down into that area again, honestly, you know, as long as ultimately we end up over this green line, which is resistance, and it becomes support, and we'll find our way to that leg 3 there. So this is what we're really looking forward to, but don't forget there's a lot of up and down before we have an opportunity to get there. So that's where we are this morning, and that's going to do it for me. It's not financial advice from me or anyone that we talked about here today, but I do want to thank you, and make sure you check out cryptotaxaudit.com. What I can tell you is Clinton Donnelly is the foremost authority on crypto taxes, and if you need help, you should sign up and become a member. It is very inexpensive, and I can tell you it costs a lot less than an IRS audit. You get all kinds of weekly alerts. They will be able to alert you 6 months in advance if you are in fact going to be audited by the IRS, and they have lots of tutorial tools and lessons for you to become a better crypto investor and tax planner. So make sure you check that out. I'll talk to you on the next one.